Esse conteúdo é derivado do canal de Damien Echols. Acesse também o canal dele e se inscreva. Apoie a produção de conteúdo independente.
Hi again, everybody. First off, thank you for joining me for another video and for your continuing love and support. I like to keep these short so that I'm not pointlessly eating up your time with chit-chat, but I also like to make them as informative as possible, to give you as much information as I can. So I'm just going to jump right in today. What I wanted to start talking about was kind of the 3 stages that you pass through as you practice magic, as your consciousness grows and as you develop as a person. The 3 stages, there's several names for them. You know, you have in most magical traditions, you have what they call 3 orders. You have the outer order, you have the inner order, and you have the third order. And there's various names, and there's also various grades attributed to each one of these 3 levels. You know, you may have 3 grades within each level, or you know, different traditions have different numbers of grades in between the levels. The most common number is 10, because there are 10 spheres on the Tree of Life, and a lot of magical traditions base the levels that you pass through on the spheres on the Tree of Life, like you're ascending them. Also in magic, one of the the names for the outer order, the inner order, and the third order, the outer order is called Man of Earth. The inner order is called the Lovers, and the third order is symbolized by the Hermit. What this means, Man of Earth, this is where we start at. Man of Earth is someone who, for all intents and purposes, has just started learning these practices that will bring them out of a deeply unconscious state. Whether we know it or not, most of us exist in deep states of unconsciousness. What I mean by this is that we are pulled and bound by energies that we are not even aware are impacting us in any way, or exerting any sort of influence on us. We start working with 4 of these forces in the Man of Earth grade, and that is earth, air, fire, and water. These 4 elements represent different aspects of our being. And you'll see what I mean. Like, everyone has at least one. If you're not doing these practices, or if you're not doing some practice to rectify and equilibrate this energy within your aura, they will be out of balance in one way or another. For example, someone who gets angry really easy and dwells on that anger for days, you know, stews over it, goes over it again and again in their minds, that person has an imbalance of fire. There is more fire within their energy system than the other 3 elements. Someone who overthinks everything to the point where a lot of times they can't even make a decision because they just keep turning stuff over and over in their head. People who suffer severe anxiety because they're constantly thinking about and worried about the future, that symbolizes air. You know, you have too much air energy in your system. People who get lost in sentimentality and let their emotions prevent them from making logical, reasonable decisions, those people have an overabundance of water energy in their aura or energy system. If you start to feel really lazy, not wanting to move around very much, or it could go to the other extreme and someone who starts to become really selfish and greedy and focused only on material items and wealth, that represents an overabundance of the element of earth in your system. So the first thing that we're trying to do is equilibrate and integrate those 4 energies within our system. We do this with what in magic is called the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. It's easier to see these energies as personifications than just as abstract concepts, which is why we use archangels. When you're starting this practice, what you're basically doing over and over is visualizing Raphael, the archangel of air, before you, Gabriel, the archangel of water, behind you, Michael, the archangel of fire, on your right hand, Uriel, the archangel of fire, of earth, on your left hand, Metatron, the archangel of Kether, above you, which is one that I added to my own practices that I usually give to people to do this, and Sandalphon, who is the archangel of the very bottom sphere. So you have the 4 elements as well as the top and bottom spheres on the tree of life. Once you have completely mastered these techniques and have balanced these energies in your system, it will take, you will be a lot, I cannot emphasize enough how much more calm, centered, and just grounded and stable you'll be in the world. It will take a lot to rattle you. Not only that, but you get very proficient at perceiving and directing energies. That's man of earth. Your next stage will be the lovers. The lovers is what some traditions call an adept. An adept is someone who has completely mastered all of the outer order work and has moved on to the inner order work. When we go into the inner order work, we're going to do some of the same things we did in the outer order, only now instead of using the 4 elemental energies, we are going to move upwards into more refined kinds of energy, which is why we start with the zodiac. So just as there are archangels that represent the 4 elements, there are also 12 angels that represent each sign of the zodiac, and there are 7 angels which represent the classical planets. So some people will start using the planetary angels in Man of Earth once they've mastered the elemental. But second level, that's when you start bringing in the zodiacal angels, the angels of the constellations. It will have an incredibly profound effect on your psyche. Not only does it equilibrate and integrate these energies into your system, but it also triggers in us, if we do it consistently and intently enough, it triggers the process that we call attaining the knowledge and conversation of your holy guardian angel. That requires a whole explanation in itself, but once that happens, it's almost like you will perceive it as direction. It will lead you to the next thing. That next thing is what we call crossing the abyss. Someone who has crossed the abyss is symbolized by the hermit. What we're talking about when we're talking about crossing the abyss is someone who has experienced reality from the perspective of unity. You know, out here normally in day-to-day life, we experience reality as an individual. You know, I'm here, you're there, and we're 2 separate things. When you cross the abyss, you realize that that's an illusion. You experience reality as this unified consciousness that is looking out through the eyes of every man, woman, and child on the planet. Remember how I said there are different grades within each level? For the hermit, there are 3 levels to the stage of the hermit. The first stage is master of the temple. Once you cross the abyss, you become master of the temple. The next stage is called magus, and it's advanced beyond even master of the temple. The final stage is called ipsissimus. And normally it's said that whenever you attain the grade of ipsissimus, you never tell anyone, not even people that may belong to the same order that you do. It's something you keep to yourself forever. Okay guys, I hope this has been helpful in some sort of way. When we come back the next video, I am going to share with you the actual technique to get started on this, which is the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. We'll talk about how to do that, as well as which angel corresponds with each direction, what those energies represent, all that sort of stuff. If you think this is, you know, something you've heard a million times, a lot of people in the realm of magic have heard about this particular first ritual forever. But I would say this is a ritual that you can never ever exhaust. You can do this one technique for the rest of your life and continuously get results from it. Continuously experience changes of consciousness, changes in your life, and it will improve your life in drastic ways. Okay guys, I love you. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.